Glad to have you join us on the program. I'm Melinda Kinlami. Coming up on Art House today. A group exhibition by different artists in the commercial city of Lagos. Then in another part of the state, we enjoyed this exhibition at the Co Gallery. We have that and more after we share this wordsmith by Promise.
Our wordsmith for this week is Alone by Promise Akinyade, and the art on display is done by Tosi Oyeni. My soul is lonely again. Dark thoughts fill my mind, and images of my wrecked past play tricks with my head. Now I wander around dangerous cliffs of fear and insecurities. My mind has gone blank again, and I am no longer aware of myself. It gets harder to concentrate when my mind speaks loudly. Wish I could reduce the volume to 0 because I need to breathe again.
It's not good for anyone to be alone. Just do what makes you happy and remember to breathe. Thanks, Promise, for that reminder and for penning your thoughts down for us. The African Artists Foundation has put together this group exhibition which creates a platform to express the limitless potential of the future.
Unusual Suspects is an exhibition put together by the African Artists Foundation in Lagos as 12 artists explore and interrogate new expressions.
Unusual Suspects basically is an exhibition that surveys different modes of expression and approaches employed by young contemporary African image makers to relay their narrative and to talk about their cultural histories. In Unusual Suspects in the exhibition, you can see elements of abstracted forms, iconography, symbols, portraiture. It's an all-round exhibition.
So we are interested in new vernaculars, new dialects. How are new expressions of gender being shown through visual art? How are we being more inclusive? How can art make space for everybody? We are interested in these new languages. So these artists are making up new dialects for the future. So when we look back in 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, this will be the heritage. So that's how the artists were chosen on that basis.
The limitless potentials of the African cultural identity is revealed by these creatives using their individual styles and techniques.
I'm a scribble artist. I would like to call my works Jagaism. Jagaism is coming from the word Jaga Jaga. That is art drawn from nonsense. Basically, it's me bringing crooked lines together and forming something very beautiful with it. So it's more like putting imperfections together to actually form something beautiful.
I work in traditional themes. I work in what I call Ukara, new Ukara, and I also work using Uli colors and Uli designs, and I also make some paintings that are representative of the Umbari structure that we used to have in the past in Igbo land.
I generally call my style Ainoism, and Ainoism is an art coined from my name, which is Aino. I'm a child born with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. So now, and the symbol on the forehead of my mask is the symbol of the Aino, which symbolizes life, struggle, and journey. So now I make use of motion lines, patterns, and also my mask, fuse it with my mask to tell the story and journey of people around me and also myself, because the Ainoism is a genesis from me, and I'm trying to like use it to generalize life and also give people a sense of, you know, oneness and understanding. So the oneness and unity is what the mask represents, because the mask, I use it in all my works and it's the same face for everybody.
My style of my work is expressionism. I use, it's like more or less like pop art. I use colors a lot. I use crepe paper and lace fabric in my works.
They take time to explain more about their interpretations.
My works are centered around gender fluidity, toxic masculinity, and feminism. Basically, my works lend a voice to support and document the resilience of non-binary humans in Nigeria and abroad.
I'm currently showing 4 paintings, and these works are 2 different series. The first one is called Reincarnation, and also the other one is titled A Love Story. So Reincarnation is a 2-piece series whereby I try to explain the return or the rebirth of the culture of the African mask, but in this case using my own self-taught or self-developed mask to express this journey. And when I'm talking about rebirth or reincarnation, I'm trying to express how this rebirth of this mask is coming into the current world we are in, a world whereby things are broken, are cracked, and there are so many crises, and it's coming in a very colorful and spiritual way to come heal the mind of people and our way of life. That's where my mask, which I call Enio. Enio means human being. I'm using it to as a medium to make this move, you know, to contribute to the society.
My paintings are under a series titled Rise of the Underdogs. This is actually talking about the concept of women and power. Yes. It's a series that challenges the generally accepted notion of a woman's so-called position in the society, and how that power has so long been a man's thing that it affects the way we see women in positions of leadership and influential positions. So I'm really hoping to use this to challenge that notion, and because the world is undergoing changes, like fast undergoing change. Today we live in a world of female vice presidents, female Supreme Court justice, female fighter pilots, and so on, in positions that would not normally expect a woman to be. And so it's difficult for the society to actually look at a woman without referencing her gender, without connecting her to something else that should be a support system for being in that position. I don't feel it's right because they are so underappreciated, because they contribute strongly to forming the structural framework of the society.
My works are about myself. I view myself as my own model. So my works are basically like a documentation of my life, my experience and my event. So these works are about my experience with some of my family members who feel that being a slim person is, like, how will I put it, bad or something like that, or maybe you are sick or something. So through my works, I'm trying to tell them to stop downgrading or body shaming people. I'm also talking about body reflection, perception in my works.
These artists embrace new heights of self-expression in this exhibition in Lagos.
The Generation Next project can also be felt on our different social media platforms. These are the works of art you sent in this week. Chiedu Ajina has this acrylic on canvas called Joyful Moment. Then Fasasi Art has this graphite and charcoal pencil on paper called Determination. This digital painting is done by Adebayo Debas. He captures a contemporary artist as well, Dotun Pupola. Then Luke Odubotit has this painting on canvas called Village Setting. Zubair Ismail has this acrylic and newsprint on canvas work called Achiever. Sonjo Lawal says empty but not with this photography. Then this acrylic on canvas piece is called Autonomous by Bisola Ayomide. Beautiful is how this artist captures this piece with acrylic on canvas. Another acrylic on canvas work is done by Francis. It's called Astro Flowers. Then Juxtaposition Ladies is an oil on canvas piece done by this artist as well. Those are the works of art you sent in this week. We do encourage you to keep sending them in and put your best foot forward always. Let's take a moment now on the program. When Art House returns, we see this exhibition by a UNN art professor in a moment. Do stay with us.
The artist is a direct reflection of God's creative attributes. We may, however, choose to reflect his attribute differently.
We enjoyed the Nsukka art series when it took place at the Co Gallery in Lagos. Now, one of the art lecturers who participated in that show tells us more about his style and technique.
Two of them have already set the tone for what has become a show to anticipate at the Co Gallery in Lagos. And the last creative to display the beauty and ingenuity in the Nsukka school did not disappoint.
I have 3 bodies of work selected for this exhibition. One is the Yam series. The second is the Honeycomb series, which is behind me. The third is the Palm Kernel Shell bead series. So for the Yam series, I am calling attention to the very precarious situation in which we are growing our youth population in Africa. The environment is very, very harsh. So when we grow your seedlings, the seed yams of our land in this kind of unfavorable environment, difficult terrain, the result is what you find that I've displayed here. The yams be rotten, devastated by rodents, twisted and empty, as you find in the images that you find in the yam series here. Or the barn will be burnt by bandits, terrorists. They are burning the yam barn. They are burning the yam barn, not just the yam barn, but the barn housing the future.
Ozioma has come from Nsukka, and the yam was very sacred to him. So we're very sort of excited that he's brought that into this model, as well as, of course, the beehive, which is right behind us. So he wanted to show that what people wore during COVID, the PPE suit, is so similar to what people who cultivate honey, they also have to wear a protective armor. So that was an inspiration to him. COVID was an inspiration to do the beehive that's behind us. And all these works are really made out of terracotta. They're put into the kiln, they're then treated with glass and glaze, and then strung with metal wires. And it was a sort of family thing where his whole family came in and helped him because of the tediousness of the work. So the amazing part is it was sort of a group effort from his family. We really look at talent in this country more than bringing people from outside. We really want to showcase the talent that we have and bring them to the world stage, which is what we're really trying to do, go to art fairs and showcase what Nigeria has to the world.
Contemporary artist Professor Ozioma Onuzulike is closing this art exhibition with his dose of what this prestigious art exhibition has to offer: claying, pounding and grinding works which come in different series.
It's a laborious process. The ceramic process in itself is laborious, but that labor, again, is metaphorical for me. It tells about the burden Africa has to bear. And I use primarily clay, sourced from around my Nsukka environment. I use it to make these materials, and they are fired in the kiln several times to be able to achieve the kind of result that I want to achieve. So for example, if I'm looking for blisters in the yam series. Now, I've got to fire the yams several times in different keen atmospheres for me to be able to get the blisters. Sometimes I can introduce other materials into the clay. For example, I can introduce laterite earth, laterite, into the clay, so I have a lot more iron in it. And that iron reminds me of human blood. Without the iron in your blood, you're dead. So it is the iron that does a lot to make sure that you have oxygen. So putting them into the clay and firing them to high temperature, where they again bleed from the body of the clay walls, they bleed from it. Again, it helps me to say a lot about what I want to say concerning the precarious situation that we find ourselves.
This renowned ceramist, poet and art critic presents The Way We Are using his unique media.
I titled this exhibition The Way We Are because the exhibition is about the social history of Africa and how that history, right from the pre-colonial and colonial era, has shaped the current human condition in Africa. So that's why I titled the exhibition The Way We Are.
The Nsukka School is a term used to distinguish artists who have studied or taught at the Fine and Applied Arts Department at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and share a critical engagement in both their visual and theoretical fields.
Well, Nsukka has been known for experimentation, been known for looking inwards to use the artistic resources of the indigenous people, blending them with ideas and materials from outside, which is what the natural synthesis idea propagated by Uche Okeke and others during the late independence era. That is what it stood for. So at Nsukka, we have continued to look inwards, take the best from within, blend it with the best from outside to forge a new artistic language that are particularly important or relevant to the social conditions of our time.
This exhibition is the third chapter of a three-part series, The New Nsukka School, which re-examines the conceptual and material practices that characterize the UNN Arts Department.
Next week on Art House.
Hi, I'm Sophie Gampici, a multidisciplinary artist based in London.
Primary Textures, an exhibition by two artists at Pacers Gallery in Lagos.
I describe my art as honest. There's so much emotion that I pour out into each figure. So when you look at the artwork, it looks very sincere and genuine.
The online creative process.
Your Art House experience doesn't have to end when the show is not on television. Interact with us on our various social media platforms. See any edition of Art House on our website or YouTube page. Join our very interactive Facebook page by joining the group on Art House on Channels. We're everywhere.
That's Art House this week. We appreciate you for spending time with us as we look forward to seeing you next time. But you know where to find us on any of our social media platforms where you can share your thoughts about today's program. I'm Melinda Akinlami asking you to keep being creative and do stay safe.